sec, my cousin. Okay, alright. Hey guys, thought I'd shoot a little quick video so you guys can see the feel of the whole Zoom Q8. The Zoom Q8 is a multifunctional camera, has 4-track audio with HD video, 2.3K to be exact. That's right a bit, like almost more than half, yeah, a bit more than half than the movie cameras they shoot for films and stuff, like movies and stuff. It's right half of that, something like that, like 2.3K, and those movie cameras are 4K. So it has very good HD video, as you guys can see. Show you guys a bit of guitar, a little bit of information about the Zoom Q8 camera. The Zoom Q8 camera, it has a few functions, a few basic functions you should know about. It has the equalizer for the sound, which I find really important. The equalizer in the sound, it has in the dynamic settings, it has a limiter, a compressor, and a leveler. Right now I have the limiter, and actually my computer is hissing in the background, but you can barely hear it. Now I'm going to press a button on the limiter so you can hear it, and you're going to notice. Oh, by the way, I also have headphones in the back, which you can regulate your sound. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to the settings. Give me a second. Oh, so apparently you can't do that when it's recording. Well, I'm gonna stop recording right now, and then I'm going to put the compressor so you guys can notice the difference. I'm gonna stop it now, and I put it back on, and now you can hear the computer hissing in the background. Put the headphones so I can also notice that it's hissing in the background. Now, okay, I'm gonna put it back now so you guys can just get it back, and you don't have to hear the computer hissing in the background. So you guys can see the difference when I have the limiter and the compressor. I'm gonna go back on my seat and I'm gonna explain a few things. So basically, the limiter, it cuts out a lot of the pressure and background noise and background sound you get wherever you go. So like if it's like a computer, or if it's like a fan, but if you have a fan on, just make sure you put on the foam which you get with the camera, so it doesn't have that crackly sound, that crackly sound. Basically, the limiter cuts out a lot of bass. Also, it also cuts out a lot of the background sound that annoys you when you're talking, when you're vlogging. And then the compressor cuts out a lot less, but then you get a bit more bass. It's for music. So like when you have your guitar on, when you're playing, I'm going to show an example very soon. You have your guitar on, and I have a combo. I know a little bit about a bit about the sound of guitars and stuff like that. I have a combo, and there are also stacks. You have stacks, I'm talking about amplifiers, stacks, I mean amplifiers, which have tubes, and then we have the combos, which have transistors. This is a Peavey ViperVibe 1. It doesn't have the naming like a normal amplifier should have. Mine has the pre-gain, the low, the mid, the high, and the post-gain. Why is this is all important? Because the Zoom Q8 is all about the recording for concerts, and recording when you're playing here, like when you're playing in your own place, your house, or a recording studio, you name it, it's for that. And also for vlogging and for podcasting. So basically, a Peavey ViperVibe 1, which I have the settings that I told you, the pre-gain, the low, the mid, the high gain, and the post gain. But on normal amplifiers, the low should be a bass, the mid I think should stay a mid, and then the high should be a treble. So basically, high frequencies is treble, and then the low frequency is the bass. It's what you get on guitar. It's really important for you to know that, because once you want to go record a band, a concert or something, they're going to have different settings. So sometimes different settings. Like in black metal, they don't have the bass in. Sometimes they scoop it out, and then sometimes they do have the mids and some of that raw black metal stuff. They don't have the bass or the mids at all, just the high, and then you have the high frequency tones in your guitar, and they don't have a bassist. But in normal bands like rock and roll and heavy metal and extreme metal, they tend to have just a guitarist with a bit of bass, a bit of mids, and then a bassist next to it. So you have a lot of the low and high frequencies to deal with. So that's why it's really important to use a compressor better, because the compressor will cut out a bit of the, a bit of the annoying junk out, and then it leaves in a balance between the treble and the bass. So you get that nice punchy sound when you're recording your concerts. And then you have, of course, very important to know is that for sound, there's a little bit more about sound. Combos don't produce as much pressure as do stack amps do. And stack amps have tubes and they can produce more pressure with their gain, depending on how much gain you put. They produce more pressure. So you have to really take note of that if you're inside a club. The sound and pressure, because sound travels like water. If it doesn't have a place to escape, it's gonna pound into your camera. So you have to keep note of that. But with the Zoom Q8, you can easily regulate that with the volume on the top of the stereo speakers. And I think that's about it. And yeah, the leveler, of course. We talked about the limiter, we talked about the compressor. Let's talk about the leveler. The leveler is right in between the limiter and the compressor. So I would use the leveler if I have to record a band wants to, they want me to record them and put them on YouTube, and there's a little bit of background sound. I'm in another room and there's a background sound, or there's music playing in the club somewhere, and that it cuts out a bit of the sound out because it's not quiet. The limiter works better for quiet places for talking and podcasting. And then the leveler has when you're talking and there's a little background sound in there, it filters it out a bit. That's how you work with the dynamics. And of course you have the low cut. You can put in how much hertz you use. I use 80 hertz. That sounds good enough for me. I mean, for my ears anyway. And then you can also cut out with minus 20 dB. I use that. It sounds good for me, so I use that. Next I'm going to put on the compressor because I have the limiter on. I'm going to put on a compressor, put on my amplifier, and I'm going to regulate the volume at the top. Okay? Alright, so I have the compressor on. I'm going to test out how it sounds like, on the guitar and stuff. Mind you, I might make some mistakes, but this is just an improvisation, to test out how the guitar sounds like with a proper setting. So, let's go. well, that went pretty well. So that's how it sounds like when you set the compressor. Your volume is properly set. I didn't put it full volume. My PV Vibrate 1 does have trans-soup technology, so it can vibrate and does that vibration sound like tubes can do. But I have it on a like low, not so low, but enough so you can hear it good. Because I kind of live in a small apartment, so I can't really blow it off. Maybe in another video I'll probably go to a music store somewhere, go in a silent room, and I'll test out a tube amp and crank it up so you guys can hear it better. But anyway, this is my little review on the Zoom Q8. A car passing by. You guys can get a feel of how that sounds like. Anyway, see you guys later.